storms and lightning here in Cape Town, which is most unusual for us, but we trust that everybody is well. So welcome to everybody, especially all our visitors and our guests here this morning. It is good to have you as part of the Breakfast Club meeting, and to all our regulars as well. You know, we mustn't forget that they are the faithful ones who keep the meeting going. And I see one of our ex-members, Vuyo, is joining our meeting this morning. It's good to have her here. And I will not, and a special welcome to our guest speaker, Deepa, from Kumar. I hope I'm saying that correctly. And it's good to have you as doing our educational this morning. And so let us drink a toast to all the leaders in South Africa, to all the leadership of South Africa.
The leadership
to all the leaders.
Not just South Africa, and to all the other countries who are represented here. Let me not forget that this is actually an international community. So to all the leaders across the world who are facing all their challenges. Now, for those of you, what I'm probably going to say something that we all know, the Toastmaster of the day is sort of the MC of the day who keeps the meeting flowing smoothly and nicely. And our Toastmaster of the day is Salima, who is also our VP M of our club. And I hand over the meeting now to her. Over to you, Salima.
Thank you, Mr. President. Welcome everyone to our Toastmasters meeting. It's our 518th meeting for the Breakfast Club, and not a dull or dynamic moment will you have today. I hope you will be ebullient by the end of the meeting with our theme of dull to dynamic. We have a number of role players. We have 2 speakers, as well as 2 evaluators, and an educational called Dull to Dynamic, which will be about vocal voice variety. So welcome everyone. We hope you have a wonderful morning, a wonderful breakfast, and we hope to have lots of fun and interaction. So we all know that our meetings have a number of role players that help us to keep together and to understand our roles. Our first person to call upon is our timekeeper, Felix Gruter. Felix Gruter, our timekeeper. Over to you.
Thank you very much. As timekeeper, I will time everyone's speeches, that being table topics, formal speeches and evaluations, and I will alert everyone of the time they have left using the green, yellow and red backgrounds. With table topics, the green background will be at 1 minute and the red at 2 minutes. With other speeches, we are limited to 5 to 7 minutes, and evaluations should be between 2 to 3 minutes. Each time I will raise the correct colors as my background. So please keep me pinned if you can, and don't go more than 30 seconds over your time limit. Thank you very much. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Felix, for letting us know what your role is for today. We also have a grammarian who will be telling us what his role is, and our grammarian for today is Ariva. Over to you, Ariva. Would you like to unmute yourself?
Good morning, Madam Toastmaster and fellow Toastmasters and guests. My name is Ariva and I'll be the grammarian for today. As the grammarian, I will be taking note of the use of the English language. I'll be taking note of any misuse. I'll be taking note of outstanding quotes and sayings that people say today. Also, as the grammarian, I will be taking note of those who will be using the word of the day, which is ebullient. I think ebullient, the meaning of ebullient is overflowing with fever, enthusiasm, or excitement. And it also means cheerful and full of energy. Other words that can be used are exuberant and excitement, but the word of the day is ebullient, and I look forward to hearing everyone using the word of the day. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Ariba. for explaining the role. And we hope we're going to hear many people using our word of the day, which is ebullient. Our first speaker for today is Jane Makwamelo, but her evaluator is Tigist. And I hand over to Tigist, who will evaluate her speech and who will let us know what her speech is about and what level she's at in her public speaking pathway. So over to you, Tigist.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests. My role today is evaluating Jane's speech. She's doing her icebreaker speech. She's on presentation mastery pathway. So this is my role. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster. Thank you.
Thank you, Tigers, for that explanation of the role of the pathway. So I hand over to Jane, who is going to be talking about who is Jane. Jane Makwamelo on who is Jane. Over to you, Jane.
Thank you, Salima. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and friends. Today, I will be talking to you on the topic of me. Toastmasters icebreaker instruction says that the first thing I should tell you is the 4 most important things that I would want you to know about myself. I think the most important thing I would want you to know about myself is that I am a Christian. Now, whenever I tell people that about myself, I tend to assume that that will get people's backs up, making them defensive and possibly suspicious. However, I'm learning to check my assumptions, having spoken on the subject in the recent table topics portion of the contest that we had. So instead, I'm going to assume that you're all fascinated and eager to know more. Not only am I a Christian, but I am a current Catholic convert, having worshipped with Baptists for the last 35 years and before that with Quakers. I've always been attracted to the world of ideas. And I find within Christianity the most riveting, dramatic, and gripping ideas, particularly in the oldest church, which is, of course, Catholicism. Protestantism only came into existence in the 1500s. Having dealt with those spiritual nuggets about myself, that generally one would move on to introducing oneself by one's career. I always think it's unfortunate that the first thing we ask one another is, what do you do? Because I think so little of ourselves is captured in what we do. Currently, I work as an editor. I've done that for the last 15 years. I edit academic work, dissertations, theses, and journal articles, fiction, nonfiction, memoirs, corporate work, and poetry. I love editing poetry, but those jobs are few and far between. Other jobs I've had in my life include being a barmaid, being a farm laborer, and more serious jobs have been working as a community development person for the Quaker Peace Center in Cape Town, as an illustrator of children's educational material, a teacher, and now as an editor. I think my métier and my interest is words. Till now, the written word, not so much the spoken word, but I'm hoping that will change. I would like to pause at this point and kind of consider the question of where we get our identity. I have said that my identity comes mostly from my Christianity, but in fact, if I'm honest, it also comes from my family, like every other person. As you can probably tell from my surname, Makwamelo, I'm married to a Xhosa man. The 3 words that best describe my husband, Simon, are infuriating, murder-inducing, and utterly irrational. I'm only joking. Simon is a wonderful man, and the qualities that most attracted him to me when we met 35 years ago were his ebullience, his confidence, and his humor, all of which he still has, and all of which I really love. We met when we were both applying for the same room in a communal Christian household. I got the room, but as he always says, I got the room, but he got me. We have two wonderful adult children, Joshua and Rebecca, whom we love to bits and discuss endlessly, often wishing that we had more children since these two have turned out so well. By turned out well, I mean, of course, that they're not on drugs and they don't have criminal histories, which I think in today's world is an achievement in itself. In conclusion, I'm not going to summarize the main points because I think you've all been riveted and haven't missed a word. I would like to close with the three quotes that, well, out of many, mean a lot to me. The first is from The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams and goes to the origins of man. It is water invented man as a means of transport. The second is from St. Irenaeus of Lyon, who said, "The glory of God is man living fully." And the third comes from a priest or a monk back in the 4th century, who I think was probably addressing divisions in the church, but I think his words are as relevant today for the entire world as ever. And that is, in essentials, unity. In non-essentials, liberty. In all things, charity. With that, I close. Thank you. Thank you for the applause. I've been so nervous.
Well
Terrified.
done. Woohoo!
Well done, Jane.
Thank you.
Thank you for that riveting speech. It really kept us captured and really interested in your life and for sharing parts of your life that we got to know a bit more. This is so interesting and so nice to know that your spiritual life is actually very important to you, as well as your career and academic life. You have reached many levels and it is really inspiring to see you in all these different roles. It actually is going to be evident for me to learn from your experience. So thank you, Jane. And in terms of being dynamic, what would you say is one of the things that really keeps you dynamic and not dull?
A good sleep at night.
We could all vouch for that too.
Good food to eat, and you know the usual things. And I think most of the time I'm pretty dull anyway. So.
Thank you, Jane. That was great. Our next speaker is Kadifele Moeng, who will be introduced by Nabisa. So over to you, Nabisa, for the speech by Kadifele. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Salima. Good morning, everyone, especially Khadi. So when I move my video looking at her evaluation and what she will be speaking about, then the video somehow turns off. So I did not turn it off, just clearing that out. Okay. Khadi Fele, I prefer calling her Khadi, that's her nickname. So she's doing level 2 feedback and evaluation, and the speech title is The Power of Partnership. Her speech is 5 to 7 minutes. Thank you very much. Over to you, Salima.
Thank you, Mabisa. Over to you, Khadi. Your speech is The Power of Partnership. The Power of Partnership. Back to you, Kadifele.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Alone, we can do this little, but together, we can do this much. Together, we have much power and much potential. Divine connections are God's means of producing power in the earth. Even the strongest individual with greatest ideas must find others to connect with for their quest for success. An example, think of the most influential, powerful, intelligent, strong human being. in their quest to start a family. They cannot do that alone. They too need a power. That is a power of partnership. Alone, we can do this little, but together we can do this much. In 2016, I joined the most amazing organization in the whole world. I joined Toastmasters. Besides gaining confidence from Toastmasters, I have gained quite a lot. Tando and myself started an organization called Impactful Future Leaders. This organization is where we teach the young ones, the teenagers, what we learn from Toastmasters. We teach them public speaking, communication skills, as well as leadership skills. We teach children from the age of 10 to 17 years old. So we impart the knowledge that we get here to the young ones. Towards the end of 2018, Tando's plate got a little bit full and she could not continue with her responsibilities of directorship in Impactful Future Leaders organization. I felt cheated, but I understood where she was coming from. She was being genuine with me and she was being honest with me. She then resigned. Fast forward, she then introduced me to another fellow Toastmaster, Morongwa Mushole. Morongwa Mushole became a sister, a confider, and a partner to the business. When she joined the business, her vision was not only to teach the future leaders. Her vision was not only to impart the knowledge we gain from Toastmasters to the future leaders. Her vision was big, was enormous. Morongwa's vision was to grow the organization. Since Morongwa became the part of the Impactful Future Leaders organization, together we have started book clubs for the teenagers. Together, we have started several other clubs for the Impactful Future Leaders. The most exciting part of it is that we have started franchising future leaders to our current members. 2 weeks ago, one of our members, Nobile Matebe, who is only 12 years old, started her club. Nobile Matebe is not only learning leadership skills, communication skills, while she's a franchisee of our organization, she is also making money. She is also making sure that her peers are able to learn from her. You see, the organization is growing. If it was not because of the power of our partnership, I don't think we would have been here. Alone, we can do this little, but together we can do this much. This is not the only thing that we plan to do with the Impactful Future Leaders. We do not only want Impactful Future Leaders to be in South Africa or to be in Johannesburg for that matter. We are going international. I presented the same speech in Zimbabwe. After presenting the same speech in Zimbabwe, one of the fellow Toastmasters contacted me on the side and said, Khadi, I would also like to franchise Impactful Future Leaders. Morongwa's vision was to grow the organization. My vision was to teach the future leaders. Together, we can do this much, but alone, we can only achieve this little. The power of partnership is what I would encourage you fellow Toastmasters to please embark on. If you have a partner, you share way more than you can do by yourself. The power of partnership. Remember, alone, you can do this little, but together we can achieve this much. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Garifile. Wow, what an inspiring speech. You sound so powerful and strong, and I'm so happy to hear that you are going international. That just shows the power of speech, the power of being at Toastmasters, and the power of thinking big. Together with a partner, you can do so much more. Thank you for sharing that with us. This is so wonderful. Our next agenda is to have our timekeeper back to be able to tell us how the two speakers did with timing, and then we will go into a recess. So over to you, Felix.
Thank you. Jane's icebreaker was within time, 4 minutes 45, and Khadi's power of partnership was 4:57, a little bit under, but it was all good. Thank you very much. Back to you.
Thank you. Felix, could you tell us some of your dynamic moments, or what keeps you dynamic?
My routine is very important to me, and I make time for a lot of things that fuel me and keep my head sane. So yeah, I think there's a lot of things that are important for me.
We heard your speech last week, which was also very inspiring on staying focused.
Exactly.
Thank you for sharing that with us. And Garifile, I'm not letting you off the hook. We need to know, what are your dynamics that keep you going?
What keeps me going? Sorry, I was just finding a comfortable place. So what keeps
you dynamic?
What keeps me dynamic is the people that I spend most of my time with. So the more I spend time with my positive, energetic friends, I just feel energized. I just feel like life is doable, and I feel like it's so exciting. So as long as I'm with my friends that are positive, especially my future leaders, I feel like I got this. I got this.
Wow, that is really ebullient. Thank you for sharing that with us. I see we're on time to go on our recess, which will be, I think, about 5 minutes. We need to get back by, 3 minutes. We need to be back by 7:58. So if all of you would like to go get your coffee or have your breaks and come back or just chat with us at the moment, we are quite happy to do so. So we'll be back by 7:58. Thanks.
Thank you, Salima. I would like to just interject and request if on the floor, one of our experienced Toastmasters would like to go into the breakout rooms for evaluation to assist our evaluators and give some feedback. Kirsten, I see you smiling, eager to be of service. Are you happy to go into the breakout room?
With pleasure, with absolute pleasure, of course.
Is there any of our visiting Toastmasters who would like to go into the breakout rooms to just give some suggestions, feedback to our evaluators, just to help them? Anybody of our visiting Toastmasters from wherever you are that you're joining us from? I see you, Tanaji. All right, so let me just find you. And then we can.
I've sent them in.
You sent them in, okay.
Yeah. I'll quickly join and come back.
All right. Anybody else that would like to go into the breakout room?
Gideon? No? Don't want to go. Okay. Okay, I'll see you just now.
Okay, thank you. If you just joined us or you came in during the speeches, welcome. I have placed in the chat is our agenda. And just for Zoom etiquette purposes, so we can identify our guests and welcome you and get in touch, we would appreciate if you can just rename yourself accordingly. So if you're a Toastmaster, a visiting Toastmaster VT, and if you're a guest hyphen your name. So I'd like to take this opportunity while our evaluators are in the breakout room just to get to know our visiting Toastmasters and guests. We like to see ourselves on screen. So if you're willing and able, please switch on your cameras. Let us see your beautiful selves. We will be having an interactive workshop earlier, and we would like to request everyone to have their cameras on if you're willing and able. Visiting Toastmaster Deepa, are you able to switch on your camera and say hi?
Hi, of course. I'm so sorry. I'm feeding my son right now. So, it's kind of difficult for me to come on the video. I'm just going to type that right now.
All right, no problem. Thank you. Welcome. And where are you joining us from?
I'm joining from Bangalore, from Toastmaster Farm Meadows Club.
Welcome.
Bangalore in India. Bangalore in India.
Welcome.
Hi, Deepti. Good to have you here.
Hi, Toastmaster Deepa. I'm here because of you only.
I hope you have fun with the workshop.
Yes, really looking forward to it.
Yes, I'm definitely looking forward to the workshop on voice variety, because I had a conversation with ACOS a little while ago about it, and suddenly I see here's a little educational on it. So I'm really excited to hear your input, Deepa.
I'm excited to present as well.
Thanks. Guest Guru, where are you from?
Yeah, I'm from Bangalore, IBCT.
Are you a
India.
Toastmaster already, or?
Oh, yes, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Thank you. Thanks for asking.
And we have guest Martha. Would you like to say hi to us? Martha, are you there? No. We have a lot of guests for today. There's Piyush Jay. Would you like to say hi? Are you guest guru?
Good evening. Good morning from India. I'm from Mysore Toastmasters Club.
Oh, right. Nice. Welcome. Welcome.
Thank you.
I see we are at 8 o'clock, so we need to reconvene our meeting again. And we need to get back to our evaluators. Our first evaluator is Tigust, who will be evaluating Jane's speech. Over to you, Tigust.
I think they're still in the breakout room. While they're in the breakout room, on the agenda is myself, the VP for the club business.
Okay, so over to you, ACOS.
Thank you. Welcome everyone once again. I would like to see our guests. We have so many people with their videos off, and we here at the Breakfast Club do not necessarily like that. We like to see the people and smile, even if it's for a few minutes. I would like to encourage everyone, if you're willing and able, to please switch on your camera, even if it's for 1 minute. So we can all just smile, wave at each other. We have a hash. Salimata, can you switch on your camera? You want me to call you out on the virtual stage? All right, everyone, thank you. My role today is just BPE, is just to inform our club on what we've been doing so far in March, and then to give you a heads up about our upcoming meeting in April. So as you all know, we are a weekly club. And what this does for us is that we have the opportunity at the Breakfast Club to consistently grow every week. Fast track, fast pace, whatever it is that you need, by showing up, ready to be of service, i.e. to deliver a speech, to do a timekeeper role, whatever it is, take on table topics. Or maybe you just want to just engage with the guests in the chat. Whatever it is, here at the Breakfast Club, as a weekly club meeting, we are always looking for role players. For March, our theme was, I don't know if any of our members recall what our theme was. Teba, do you remember what our theme was? No. I see our president is laughing. Wenlile, what is our theme in March? Constructive feedback. Our theme this month is constructive feedback. And if you recall, we started off on the 2nd of March with an evaluation by Karen, evaluate to motivate. So as VPE, my intention in my term has been that we have 2 educationals. And the plan and the purpose of that is that we have an educational like today to give our members rest. And then the next week, we bombard each other with beautiful, wonderful speeches. So far, we are making progress, but slightly slacking, both in our educationals, in terms of progressing in our levels and taking up the roles. So I would like to just give you a snapshot of our plan for April. The theme for April, and I would like to just share my screen. Our theme for April, we will be borrowing from the pathway, educational pathways. It is increasing knowledge. I don't know if you can see my screen. Can my screen be seen? Okay. So as I said in March, we have been focusing on evaluation, and the intention really is to help our new members and old members just to get the fundamentals, right? In terms of evaluation, understanding how you give feedback. Now we're going to encourage our members from April and May just to up level. So you have the foundation. Today we are focusing our education on vocal variety, which is a level 1 project. Now April and May will be focusing on level 3, which is increasing knowledge. For level 3 in our Toastmasters educational program, we are encouraged to do projects. And as you can see, we have to choose 2 projects. The projects are listed as below, and I'll just go out and just read for those who are not familiar. Deliver a speech on social speech, presentation software, connecting with storytelling, creating effective visual aid, prepare for an interview, active listening, which is our table topics role. Our level 4, which is building skills, is meant for you now to up level on all that you've been doing in level 1, 2, and 3. And the suggested project for this is to create a podcast, build a social media presence, write a blog, manage an online meeting, which is what our Toastmaster of the day is doing, and everyone else who has been either working as a Zoom master or contest chair in this contest season that we're in now. The other options is to run a question and answer session, public relations strategy, or a project that involves several mini projects, manage projects successfully. So in April, we have 2 guest speakers who are going to come in. The first one will be the 6th of April, and she will be presenting on creating effective visual aid, as well as inspire your audience. So I'm now going to request our members, those who are willing and able, to work with our guest speakers who will be coming to present by either choosing a project, question and answer, okay, or writing a blog on their experience. I will work with you as well as these people that are coming in to carry the educational. You will not be doing it alone. Are there any questions before I call on people who are potential volunteers? Are there any questions on the intention for April and May? I would like to repeat, just as what we've been doing in March, our theme was constructive feedback. We had 2 educationals. We had a break between the educationals where we had speeches. We'll be doing the same in April and May. April, our theme is increasing knowledge. We will have 2 educationals. The difference now is I would like to encourage our 2 members who would work with our guest speakers in delivering the educationals. And that will be part of a level 4 or a level 3 project. Are there any questions from our members? All right. We have several members who are getting ready for level 3. Or even if you're not yet there, it's an opportunity to learn and grow by working with an experienced Toastmaster. Taba, are you up for the challenge to possibly do a question and answer session after an educational?
I'll get back to you on that, Akos.
Thank you. Thank you. Welile, are you up for the challenge?
Yes, Akos, I am. Sorry about that. I'm just busy in the background.
Okay. Felix, do you have any questions? All right. With that said, our Easy Speak is opened up for roles, and I would like to request all our members to please go on to Easy Speak. When you are ready, you can schedule your speech and the role, whatever role that you would like to take on for the month of April and May. We are always looking for role players. As you know, we are a weekly meeting, and planning our meetings and programs ahead helps us to have effective, well-organized meetings. Felix, how am I doing on time, and are the evaluators back in the Zoom room?
Sorry, Akos, I was not aware that I'd be timing you.
No problem. All right. Our evaluators back in the Zoom room. It is now 8:10 and they should be back. So we start our evaluation session.
Hi, Akos.
Mm-hmm.
You said, am I up for the challenge?
Yes.
Can you explain what challenge that is?
Well, the challenge will be to work along with myself and one of the experienced Toastmasters who would be joining us for an educational in April and May. So it will almost be like a mentorship type of experience. So just to make an example, Deepa today is delivering an educational, right? Had we appointed a member to work with her, she would deliver a speech, 10 to 15 minutes, all right? And then a member would also deliver just a short speech just to introduce themselves and their content, and then facilitate the question and answer session of Deepa's educational. So it should be a team effort. So today, Deepa is doing everything. She's doing the educational and she'll be doing the question and answer session. It's just a learning opportunity to work hand in hand with an experienced Toastmaster. I think my time is up, so I'm happy to engage more with our members outside of the meeting, but I wanted to explain this. I'm sure it was of value to our visiting Toastmasters as well, in terms of just clarifying and explaining our intentions for April and May. Thank you. I pass back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Akos. Wow, we're having wonderful things coming up in our coming meetings, and I'm really looking forward to them. And it sounds very exciting and ebullient. Coming back to our meeting, our evaluator, Tigers, will be giving an evaluation on the speech by Jane. Over to you, Tigers.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Sorry. Thank you, Jane, for giving us this well-prepared, organized speech. Really, it is well-constructed. Something I would like to improve here, having your stand not moving a bit, that was a bit distractive. Otherwise, I can say you achieve the goal of this presentation. You told us who you are and where you are from where. So really, this is great. Thank you, Jane.
Can I ask a question? What did you mean about I should stand and move, or I was standing and moving too much? I wasn't quite sure what you meant.
Yeah, I was seeing some rocking kind of movement that was a bit distracting for me. It might not be like a huge thing, but yeah, like adding more gestures on that, and it's the same kind of movement. That is the only thing I pick. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Tigers. But before we let you go away, we need you to share with us some of your dynamics. What keeps you dynamic? And we know you're a very, very busy lady. So let's get going.
Hope. Every day I hope for good and I keep my routines.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you. That's wonderful. Thanks. And so our next evaluator, sorry.
So remember, Salima isn't in the room, but I was just wondering, because we now had the breakaway session on the evaluators, maybe it would be useful if one of our other, like Kirsten, could maybe also give a bit of evaluation to Jane. Might be helpful. Would you be okay with that, Kirsten?
You're asking a Toastmaster if they're comfortable to speak. What a redundant question. Toastmaster, the opportunity to speak. I hope there's a timekeeper in the room. Jane, congratulations. Congratulations. The reason why I'm here this morning is I totally loved this club speech contest. I had such a wonderful engagement in your event. And that's why I'm here this morning. I wanted to see what the club gets up to on normal days. So I know you from the speech contest, and I was so surprised to hear that this is your first formal presentation on your Toastmasters educational journey. Congratulations, number one, for being part of Table Topics contest, and number two, for doing your icebreaker so well. I learned so much about you, and I take my hat off to you. Wow, I feel like I've done nothing in my life. I have to start all over again. You've had an awesome journey, and you brought such excellent humor to that journey, and shared your marriage with us, your children with us. Thank goodness they're not mass murderers. And, you know, and then you shared with us your beliefs and your wonderful quotes. And those quotes just gave us such an excellent spectrum. From science fiction and fantasy right through to your religious core that you kept working on. I agree with our evaluator that I think it was out of nerves. You did a bit of a rocking and maybe trying to find a rhythm with your words. So you were almost like, you know, trying to dance to that song that was going on in your head to keep you calm. So just something to consider going forward is to find a way to plant your feet. And the best way to do that is to make sure your 2 feet are underneath your 2 shoulders, directly underneath, like, you know, like the guys stand on an army parade ground. Keep your hips and your shoulders and your feet in line, and that rocking should not happen. But congratulations on sharing a fantastic life story with us, with excellent humor. We definitely got to know you better, and I seriously look forward, with genuine sincerity, look forward to hearing more from you.
Thank you so much.
Toastmaster.
Thank you, Kirsten. Our next evaluator is not available, so we'd like to do a round robin. And if anyone would like to volunteer to give our speaker, Gadifele, an evaluation for her speech this morning. Who would like to volunteer? Anyone?
Okay, hi, Salima.
Hi, Kavita, thanks.
So I'm from India, and I just didn't get to know because I was off the camera for a minute. Is the speech being delivered now that we have to evaluate?
No, it was delivered earlier in the meeting.
Okay.
Have you just joined us?
Yes, I just joined. Okay, sorry,
Okay.
no problem.
You're most welcome to share any of your evaluation secrets with us.
Yeah, sure. I can do you want me to share right now?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Okay. So one tip that I want to give you is that there are speakers at different levels. Some are proficient, some are novices. So base your evaluation on their receptivity level. If they're novices, they wouldn't take a very critical feedback. They're yet to get into it, acclimatize themselves to receiving evaluations. So that's my tip. Base your evaluations on the level of the proficiency of the speaker.
Thank you so much, Kavita. That is so inspiring and so relevant to the way we need to look at how we give our evaluations. Now we get to the crux of our meeting, which is our guest speaker and our educational. So I hand it over to our guest speaker, Deepa Sampath Kumar, who is going to be talking about doubt dynamics and giving us a speech about how to use vocal variety. Over to you, Deepa.
Oh, very good morning to everybody at the Breakfast Club in Cape Town. And to all the guests who have joined us from various parts of the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining us from. Have you ever struggled with vocal variety? Are there elements of it that you're not being able to capture well? And I had a raise of hands if you did. Yeah. Yes, I struggled. Let me tell you my story. When I joined Toastmasters 4 years ago, in every evaluation sheet, this is what was written. It said, Deepa, your voice is flat. Could you go a little up and down? And I didn't know what up and down is. And I really wanted someone to explain all the elements of vocal variety in a much more better way than we get in Pathways. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do here with you all. So let's just dive in straight into the session. Dull to dynamic, practical exercises in vocal variety. So I'm going to keep this extremely interactive. And I want you to volunteer. I'm going to make you try out these exercises. You're going to speak sentences, phrases along with me. It's going to be one huge interactive sessions with me speaking very little. So let's start with a question of voice. What do you think is the definition of a voice? At the root of it, what is voice? Kirsten, would you like to go for it? How would you define voice?
Trying to worry that my camera is the most active one on the front of the list. Define voice. I would say that voice is the shaping of words to create understanding.
Fantastic. Anybody else would like to go with any other description of voice?
Isn't it sort of the breath coming through all the different bits of your body and eventually out?
Yeah, very true. So this is what I kind of brainstormed and put in together. Isn't our voices sound waves, vibrations? Aren't they dispensers of words? Don't they indicate our health? I mean, when we get cold, we sound different. Don't they give clues about what mood we are in? Easy, right? If someone is angry, someone is excited, someone is in a better mood, we know when to approach. Our voice emits those clues. And as Kirsten just said, vehicles of expression. And yeah, how did we forget music? Akos, very good at music. So singing and humming, so that's all. So much that our little voice box and our bodies do through our voices. Now, each one of us has unique voices, don't we? Each one of us, we have different lengths of our neck, our tongues behave differently, our teeth are structured differently, we project air differently. So each one of us sound different. Now, if somebody just goes on mute, we can still identify them through their voice. Now, I don't know. I just want to show you the picture of the vocal cords because I don't know how many of you have seen the vocal cords, but this is the picture of that kind of gross looking organ there, miscellaneous, but this is how it is. And this is one of the major organs which plays a key role in how we sound. Some people have a husky voice, some people sound a little different, all because of little differences in that vocal cord. I found it interesting. I thought I'd share this because most of us don't know how it looks like. All right, that's how unique we are. And now let's go to vocal warm-ups. You see, actors, singers, and even professional speakers do something called vocal warm-up. And what vocal warm-up is basically to relax all our vocal cords, our muscles, because when we are relaxed, we sound more resonant. Our richness, our resonance, our projection is much, much, much better. And how do they do this? Shall we try this out? One is diaphragmatic breathing. I don't know how many of you practice yoga here. If you do practice yoga, you already know what diaphragmatic breathing is. But I'll assume some of you don't, and I'd want you all to hold your hand on your belly. All right? Think of your belly as a balloon and just breathe in and inflate that balloon. Breathe in, hold, breathe out. Again, breathe in, hold, gently breathe out. Most often when we are stressed, our shoulders move up and we're breathing through our shoulders. We use the other method. So we have to breathe through our belly breathing or diaphragmatic breathing. That's when we relax ourselves. That is one vocal exercise, vocal warm-up that is done by most actors, singers, and professional speakers. And then the second one is humming. So let's try that out now. Just buzz like a bee with me, shall you? Maybe two of you can unmute yourself. Feel the vibration coming out. Hold your hand near the nose and feel the vibration on your fingers. On your neck. On your lips.
Wow.
right before a speech, you can actually hum without many noticing. Just do hum gently, and that also helps in relaxing your vocal cords and your body in general. And your tongue, all the major organs which shape our voices. Then another one is tongue twisters. If you try tongue twisters, you kind of get better at enunciating words. So this is an exercise I'd like you all to try. Who'd like to go for it? A volunteer for me, please. Yes, Jane. So I'm going to
red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red. Ooh, I just didn't read that one. Yellow leather, red.
Yeah, so you can go slow, then fast, as fast as you can, so that you just do exercise your tongues. That's you relax the tongue. Does anyone else want to go with the same? Felix, would you like to go for it? Red leather, yellow leather. I'll expand.
Sure, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, yellow leather, red. It's a bit of a challenge, huh?
Thank you, everybody. So when you can do this quite often and as fast as you can, over a period of time, you can get really, really fast with this. And that'll help you relax the tongue and maybe even enunciate and pronounce better. Next, let's go to the main things that are covered in our pathways, elements of vocal variety.
But when you go into like in the most structural way.
Elements of vocal variety. One of them is volume, pitch, stress, pace, and pause. Now I'm going to go to volume. So Tanuja, can you define what volume is? Tanuja, can you hear me? Can you unmute yourself and tell me what volume is?
Volume is the intensity of our voice, how loud or how low we are. That is the volume.
Perfect, perfect. Perfect. You know, it's the amplitude of the sound waves in scientific terms. And as Tanuja just said, it's the intensity or the loudness. Now we can play with volume to add vocal variety. But before that, something very common sense. We need to sound, we need to be audible to our audience. Our gentlest whispers should be heard. And our loudest voices should also be heard. That's how you now. I'd like you to imagine holding a ball in your imaginary ball in your hand. Can I see everybody holding an imaginary ball in your hand? Now I'd like you to drop the ball near to you and say the word go to the ball. Let me show you how I do it. Go. Now I throw it farther. Go. 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 So you can just do this exercise to know your range of volume, how loud you can get and how soft you can get. Would anybody like to try this exercise? Somebody without a dog next to them, don't startle it. Akos, would you like to go for it?
Yes, I can try. Please repeat the instructions.
You're holding an imaginary ball and you tell the ball go, and you just drop it different distances, shorter, you know, softer. If it's longer, louder. Midway, you know, in mid.
Go. Go. Go.
Okay. Thank you, Akos, for that demonstration. Now, there's another way of using our volumes in our speeches. Now, let me demonstrate this to you. Let's say this is one of the sentences in your speech. This is very important. Very important. You see how I increased my volume at the word, at the sentence very important, or phrase very important? When I want to highlight something, I use my volume in a high range. Now I'd like to give someone a similar one to try it. Would anybody like to go for it? Madeline, would you like to go for it? I want you to use watch me carefully loudly. What the first one in your normal voice, and watch me carefully louder.
Watch me carefully. Watch me carefully. Is that right? Did I get it right?
Yeah. Yes, you got it right the second time. Great. So you're stressing. Watch me carefully. You're trying to stress on that watch me carefully. That's how you use your higher volumes in your speeches. Now, of course, we can't dismiss the lower voice which we have, which is a whisper. And I'll demonstrate one of them. I heard chakalaka is a good dish in South Africa, so I included that in a sentence. So this is how I go. After 9 failed attempts at cooking chakalaka, I finally succeeded the 10th time. You know, you use a whisper. I finally succeeded the 10th time. But just make sure the whisper is heard all the way to the end of the audience if you're in an offline meeting. Now, in a virtual meeting, you can use your mics very cleverly. So I'd like somebody to use their whisper, power of whispers with this sentence. Who'd like to go for it? Gideon, would you like to go for it?
Sure. I went around the rooms.
I want the last sentence to be whispered.
Oh, I see. Okay, fine. I went around the rooms, searched the living room, went into every cabinet, and finally, I found the diary.
Can you go a little lower? I finally found the diary, like a whisper.
Oh, no problem.
Great job.
I went around the rooms. I searched the living room. I went into every cabinet. And I finally found the diary.
Fantastic. Please give Gideon a good round of applause. So that's this is a part of a speech where you're revealing the secrets. So secrets are done in whispers. So that's how you use the lower part of your volume. Now let's go to the pitch. You know, this is the troublemaker. It troubled me for the longest time. To get this right, it really takes effort. So I always call it long-term challenge. So what is pitch? Deepa, can you go for it? What is pitch?
I would say pitch is how high you can go or low in terms of your volume.
Right. Yes, high and low, like the shrillness. Generally, men have lower pitch just to bring in more clarity, and women have higher pitches. Now, using pitch is done in a variety of ways. One of them is called intonation. Intonation reveals our moods. So I have another exercise. I'm going to go for the first two, demonstrate it to you, and then I'm going to call people. And I request people to come on video so that I can call you on. I think I covered everybody on video. Maybe if you want to participate, you can just come on video and I'll call your names. So here it is. I'll expand. This is intonation. The first sentence, see, I'm going to intonate the word tired. First sentence, I'm going to go monotone. I am tired. Second word, a second sentence, I'm going to speak as if I'm really exhausted after a whole long day of work. I am tired. That's how I sound. Now, I'd want grammarian Eriva to go for how she would sound if someone annoys her. How would you speak the same?
I'm tired.
Oh, great. And who's good at sarcasms? All right, Toastmaster Kavita, DTM Kavita.
I'm tired.
Great, fantastic. You see, we find out the moods, the tone of the speaker just by sounding different. This is intonation, and it's pitch variety. It's nothing but pitch variety that we're doing here. The next one we'll go for an exercise. Oh, I forgot the important exercise. It's called the slide exercise. And I want you to imagine you're in a slide. You remember as kids, we used to go down the slide, up the slide. Remember? So imagine you're in a slide. I'll go from down to up. Now I'm going to use the word hey, and I'm going to explore my pitch range. I'm going to go from low. Hey. High to low. Hey. Again. Hey. Hey. This is the hey exercise. Now, I want somebody to go, instead of using the word hey, I want you to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, let me show you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Would like to go for this? Yes, Narissa. Go ahead.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5. Make it sharp. Shrill.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Fantastic. So you can explore maybe even 1 to 10 if you can. Go after the meeting, maybe just try out this exercise quite often. And now how you use it differently. You can go from 1, 3, 5, 5, 3, 2, create different patterns and practice it. And then you can replace the numbers with words and maybe even your speech. And this I call my slide exercise. All right, then let's go to the next one. Okay, I'm back. Next one is called stress and keying. And I have another exercise. What's this workshop without an exercise? Now, keying, I'm going to show how to demonstrate. I'll demonstrate this to you. There's one word that's highlighted in each of the sentences. It's the same sentence, right? I'm going to key or stress the highlighted word, and it changes the meaning. The first one, I am angry with you. I am angry with you. It's not Jane who's angry with you. It's not Kirsten who's angry with you. So you are emphasizing the I. The second one, I am angry with you. So I'm not happy with you, but I'm angry with you. So that's how I stress the word angry. The third one, I am angry with you. So again, I'm angry with Akos. I'm not angry with Madeline. That's how I use keying or stressing differently. And this is just primary keying. There's something called tertiary and secondary keying, which we'll cover in the next workshop if we do have one. So who would like to go and try the same exercise? I've given another sentence. Velil, did I get your name right? Would you like to go for it? King.
Welile. Are you trying to say Welile?
Welile.
Yes.
Welile.
Can you go for the first sentence? By
It's Welile.
stressing on. Welile, yeah. Can you stress the first I in the first sentence?
Yes. I've got a very bad network.
Okay. All right then. Let's go to.
I need you.
Okay. I would have maybe wanted you to stress on I need you. All right. Maybe he has network issues. Never mind. We'll go with Melanie. Melanie, would you like to go for the second one?
I need you.
Fantastic. Third one goes to Tigist.
I need you.
I need you. How about that? Stress a little more.
I need you.
Fantastic. Tigist. Give her a big round of applause. That's about keying. And it's also called stressing a word. Now let's go to something called the pacing and pausing. Pacing and pausing are, I'm going to go with pausing first. And these are nothing but audio punctuations. Just like the comma, the full stop, we can actually audio punctuate differently. Again, I have an exercise for you. And I'd like somebody to go monotone for the first. And there's a slash on the second sentence. I want you to pause when the slash happens. Wherever the slash is present, just pause a brief little while, all right? So let me expand this. And maybe this time I'll call never on the monotone. You're muted. Could you unmute yourself?
Sure. Okay, there we go. It is time to eat, children.
Okay. Gajalakshmi, for the second one, just pause where there's a slash.
It's time to eat, children.
Thank you. And now maybe I'll go to Felix for the third one.
It is time to eat, children.
See, the meaning changes completely. So what we meant was what Felix was telling. So it's time to eat, children. So that's the importance of pauses. It can go, it can work our way. It can really not work our way if we don't use it properly. And now let's go to the big one. And I think I'd like to call Kirsten for this. Looks like a big sentence. And I want you to use big para actually. It's a commencement address by Steve Jobs, a famous speech of his. And I've put hashes, single hash for brief pause, double hash for a little longer pause. And I've chunked them in a certain fashion. And let me expand and explain what chunking is. You see, whenever I've put the slash, that is a chunk, one big chunk, one meaningful piece of sentence. And people usually have trouble chunking their sentences. Many people just go for 2 words at a time. Some people just go for 3 words at a time. We have to be dynamic in it. Sometimes 2, sometimes 3, sometimes 4, sometimes back to 3, and keep changing the way we chunk our words. But that said, it has to make meaning. So Kirsten, would you like to read it out aloud? I've expanded it.
Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary.
Fantastic. Fantastic. You see, Kirsten also used stressing, keying also, and she also used the chunks. Timer, how are we doing on time?
We're at 25 minutes and still have, according to the schedule, we have 3 minutes. So somewhere in between 3 and 10 minutes.
Maybe then I'll give this again to Toastmaster Guru, who was coming on and off. Toastmaster Guru, are you there? Yes. Can you go for it? Same thing as Toastmaster Kirsten did.
Yes. Your time is limited. So don't waste with living someone else's life. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary.
Thank you, Toastmaster Guru. A couple of suggestions for Toastmaster Guru and to the others in the room as well. You know what happened when Toastmaster Guru was trying? He kind of chunked differently without him actually realizing it. He said in the middle, drown out, he kind of paused there. That's what happens. We have a certain rhythm to our voices, which we have established as practice, and we need to break that. We need to chunk better. And I think the more prepared speeches we give and we chunk them appropriately, like go the whole chunk without pausing. Sometimes go 3 words at times, go 4 words at times, 5 words at times, sometimes even 1 word. I think it'll make a huge difference to how it sounds. And of course, the other one is pausing where you have a very important key message. Pause right before the message and pause after the message. It's like you're giving a spotlight to that key message. So this is all about pacing and pausing. And if you want, you can use this template while you're scripting your prepared speeches. You may maybe bolden the words you want to stress. Maybe you can highlight them in red when you want to go fast, green when you want to go slow, and then double hash for big pause, single hash for small pause. So let's summarize now, shall we? Let me test your memories. What did we start off with? Anybody?
Define voice.
Yes. Next, what did we go for?
The voice instrument.
Image, yeah.
Yes, unique voices. Then what did we go for next?
Vocal warm-up.
Volume.
Yes, vocal warm-up. Who said that? Fantastic. Diaphragmatic breathing, humming. Remember humming? Tongue twisters, red leather, yellow leather. Then what did we cover?
Elements.
Bowling.
Yeah. And what was the exercise that we did? I think Akos did that.
Ball.
Ball.
Go. Yes, that's right. Imaginary ball and telling it to go. That's the volume. What was covered next?
Pitch.
Yes. What was the exercise that we did?
Slide.
Hey.
Hey.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fantastic. Then stress and keying. I need you. Remember? I need you. Yeah. And then we went to audio punctuation or pausing. It's time to eat. It's time to eat, children. And then we went to pacing and pausing, wonderfully demonstrated by Toastmaster Kirsten. That's about what I had to offer today. I hope you had a delightful morning. And I'd like to hand over the control back to the Toastmaster of the day, Salima. I have one more thing to say. I have a feedback form. I want you all to fill it up for me because I'm trying to get better at presenting education sessions. So I'll post it in the chat box. If you could take a minute and fill it up, it's completely anonymous. You can put your name in if you want to. So I want your honest feedback on how the session went. All right, back to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Deepa. How inspiring is that? I'm sure my voice is sounding stronger already and the vocal variety is already shifted. So thank you so much, Deepa. That was really, really inspiring and very educational. I know that if you cannot see the bright side of life, polish the dull side. And what better way than by polishing up your voice? I hand over to our president. Over to you, Master President.
Grammarian report.
Oh, apologies, grammarian report. We go to our grammarian of the day, who is Ariva. Over to you, Ariva.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Indeed, I am always ebullient to visit the Breakfast Club, always welcoming, and what a lovely experience it has been and very educational. Thank you to to Deepa for presenting that. Our two speakers today have used such beautiful descriptive language. They were eloquent in their speeches. I loved that. I loved how Jane described her husband using 3 words, but the emphasis was on the good and the bad about his character. She started first with using the word infuriating, but then the second was confidence. So I thought that was very well used. The use of quotes at the end of her speech really summed it up very, very well. It touched on different aspects of herself, I thought, which was brilliant. And also twice she mentioned, or she described herself as riveting. I think that's awesome. When you consider yourself riveting, that was lovely. With Khadifile, she also had quite beautiful descriptive language. She used words such as divine connections, and also when she was talking about her partners, she also used the power of emphasis by using three words: influential, powerful, intelligent, sister, confider, partner. So congratulations to both of our speakers. I would like to say the use of the word of the day was a bit lacking, but congratulations to our Toastmaster of the day, Salima. You really went all out, and I think you covered it for all of us. So all in all, thank you everyone for having me. And yes, the use of English in the meeting this morning has been quite excellent. Thank you.
Thank you, Ariva. Thank you so much for your grammarian report. And I hope I covered everybody's use of the word for today. I now hand over to our president of the club, Gideon. Over to you, Gideon, for the closing remarks for our meeting for today. Gideon.
Sorry, thank you. There's a poll for the best speaker. We only had 2 speakers, and so if each of you would just vote for your best speaker of the day. Thank you. We appreciate that. There was no table topics. But this was a wonderful meeting. Thank you especially to Deepa for that presentation of the educational from dull to dynamic. I must say, Deepa, I think that you have a bit of a fan club there in India, because half of the people in the meeting is from India. So I think when you go and travel around and do presentations, you're going to take half of your club with you. But thank you for that. That was very detailed presentation. It's not the type of educational, I don't think we've ever had it, where you actually get down to issues like voice and pitch and vocal variety and volume and learning to whisper and pacing and pausing. It's the type of educational which one really needs to work on when you do your preparation for your speeches. It means, this is what it means. You cannot go and do your preparation the night before. You have to be ready 3-4 nights before, and then 2 nights before you start to work on how do you actually apply all of the concepts and ideas which Deepa has shared with us. So it's a real challenge actually for when one is doing presentation of speeches. But thank you to everybody who partook in the meeting, all our visitors, all our guests. You added to the quality of the meeting. We appreciate that very much. And could I just say that myself and the Toastmaster of the day, Salima, who is also the VPM, will just remain behind. Maybe people like Neveron, who are not presently Toastmasters, who want to just talk a little bit and ask some questions about Toastmasters, you are welcome to do so. Then I also just would like to say a special welcome here. Nice to have Vuyo in the meeting. She's an area director of Area 1, I think, in our division, and she's an ex-member of our club. And it's nice of her to also come and visit us this morning. Now, just a couple of housekeeping issues for the Breakfast Club members. You know, at the moment, we are renewing our membership, and we have a few more days. Today's the 23rd, basically 1 more week. So for those who really have not paid, I know there's just a few of us in the meeting who still have not paid. I will try not to look at you. But if we could just sort out that issue, because early in next week, we need to pay those fees over to Toastmasters International. Now, there is a sad reality here, and the sad reality is this time of the year, people also decide whether they're going to renew or not. And we actually have 3 members of our EXCO who are not renewing. That is the Boho, who is our secretary, Alex, who is our treasurer, and Naren, who is our VPPR. That means that we actually have 3 vacancies on our EXCO. We are in need of a secretary, a treasurer, and a VPPR. So if any of our local club members would please we like to use the word here, step up to that role, any of those 3 roles, please give it some thought. I see Kirsten is smiling there. I think she's trying to get out of the starting blocks and getting into our EXCO. You're going to have to join the club first before you come in onto our EXCO, but we're happy to have you. But if any of our local members would please consider that, because losing 3 members out of our 7 is actually quite a bit of a dump for us. Then also to the EXCO members, we are having our meeting, our EXCO meeting this coming Sunday at 4 o'clock. Please make yourself available. We will be 4 o'clock on Zoom. We will keep it to an hour and a half. So that is this coming Sunday. And then Monday the 28th is our area contest. And all 3 groups, that is the first and second place in terms of the speakers, as well as evaluators, as well as table topics will be partaking in that. It takes place at 6 o'clock on Monday, the 28th of March, and we are requesting that all of our members please attend and support the folk that will be partaking. If there are any other visitors who would like to join us on that evening, you are most welcome to do so. I see that Kirsten was, she connected with Jane when Jane was part of our club contest, and now Jane will be taking part in that as well. So it's an open invitation to everybody to join us for our area contest. Good people, thank you very much. I don't have the result of the poll.
I did WhatsApp you.
You did? Oh, okay. Okay. Let me just see. She probably did WhatsApp me. She normally. Okay. Our best speaker is Khadifile. Well done to Khadifile.
I would like to thank my mom. I would like to thank God. Can I give a speech?
Thank you for that nice sense of humor there. But well done for coming to the Breakfast Club as a guest and winning the best speaker of the morning. We trust that it was an encouragement to you and that you go from strength to strength in your speaking career. We also trust that the educational presented here will add value and quality to your further speeches. Other than that, it is now exactly on the dot 9 o'clock. Thank you to everybody. Thank you to ACOS as our VPE for putting this meeting together. We do appreciate all the hard work behind the scenes, and we're back every Wednesday morning. If you want to join us next week at 7:30, you're welcome to do so. And those of you who enjoy filling in the club emissary forms, the established Toastmasters here, you can go ahead and do that and just send it to us. Give us some feedback on your perspectives and ideas and thinking about how this program has gone. Thank you to everybody. See you. Those who have questions, such as Neveron and maybe others, please stay behind, or Neveron, just share your phone number with us that we can be in contact with you. Goodbye, everybody. Have a good week.
Thank you. Bye. Thanks everybody for the contributions. Thanks, Deepa.
Thank you.
We're going to be humming before the next meetings. That was so much fun. Thanks for that.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
I've made you
Deepa.
co-host,
Thank you.
Gideon. I'm going to go. Stop the recording. Bye.
Are you making me the host?